He never forgot us, the story of the Mugenzi family. Part 1. The Fall into Darkness. Once, the Mugenzi family lived a simple but content life in a small village near the hills of Rwanda. Jean and Clarisse were loving parents of 4 beautiful children: Patrick, Divine, Eliane, and little Noah. Jean worked as a mason, and Clarisse sold vegetables at the market. They were not wealthy, but they had just enough, and always gave thanks to God. Then the storms came. Jean lost his job when the construction company he worked for shut down. Shortly after, Clarisse's market stall was destroyed in a fire during a riot in town. The little savings they had vanished quickly with school fees, rent, and food. They applied for jobs, asked neighbors, begged for help, but no door seemed to open. One night, Jean came home with nothing in his hands. The children sat on the floor, their eyes hollow with hunger. Clarisse looked at him, trying to hide her tears. "I boiled water," she said softly, "to make them think food is coming." They gathered around the table that night and prayed, not over a meal, but over an empty pot. "Give us this day our daily bread," they whispered together. They cried themselves to sleep, wondering if God had forgotten them. Part 2. Faith in the Desert. 2 years passed in this wilderness. Hunger became familiar. Some days they survived on cassava leaves. Some weeks they ate only once. Jean would leave early every morning to search for work, even cleaning yards, carrying bricks, anything. But too often he came home empty-handed. Clarisse prayed on her knees every night. Her prayers turned from loud cries to whispered groans. "Lord, you fed Elijah with ravens. You fed 5,000 with 5 loaves. Are we less precious to you?" Many people mocked them, some even from church. One neighbor said, "Maybe you've sinned and God is punishing you." Another laughed, "You pray too much, go find money instead." But they refused to let go of faith. They gathered every Sunday in their living room, singing with cracked voices and empty stomachs. Jean would read Psalm 37 aloud. "I have been young, and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread." Psalm 37:25. Clarisse clung to Romans 8:18. "The sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed." Their children began to ask, "Mama, does God hear us?" And Clarisse would answer, holding their hands tightly, "Yes." He is silent, but he is still writing our story. Part 3. Heaven moves then. On a Wednesday morning, everything changed. Jean was sitting by the road, looking for odd jobs again, when an old friend named Emmanuel passed by. They talked. Jean shared nothing about his struggles, but Emmanuel looked at him and said, "God has been speaking to my heart since last night. I didn't sleep well. He told me to come find you." He handed Jean an envelope. Inside was enough money for a month's food. Jean's hands shook. "I don't understand. Why now?" he asked. Emmanuel replied, "Because God never forgets his children." The next day, Jean received a phone call from a company he had applied to a year ago. They were opening again and needed experienced workers. Not only did Jean get the job, but the company also gave him a monthly housing allowance. 3 weeks later, Clarisse was invited by a pastor's wife to help start a women's cooperative for handmade baskets. And within months, her designs were being sold in Kigali. From no food to a full table, from no income to multiple sources, from crying in the night to dancing in the morning. Part 4. A Table Prepared. Today, the Mugenzi family opens their home every Sunday for a meal and prayer. They welcome neighbors, widows, orphans, and those still struggling. Their 4 children now tell others, "God remembered us." Jean often shares their story at churches and youth fellowships. He holds his Bible and says, "We thought we were abandoned, but God was simply preparing a table for us in the presence of our enemies." Psalm 23:5. Clarisse wipes tears as she says, "Those 2 years broke us, but they also brought us closer to heaven." They named their new home Imana Yibuka, Kinyarwanda for God remembers. And when people ask what kept them going, John and Clarice always say, "We had no money, we had no food, but we had Jesus, and Jesus is enough." Scriptures for reflection, Psalm 37, verse 25. "I have not seen the righteous forsaken," Romans 8:18. "The sufferings of this present time," Philippians 4:19. "And my God will supply all your needs," Isaiah 49:15. "Can a mother forget the baby at her breast? Yet I will not forget you," Psalm 23:5. "You prepare a table before me